My dear students, brothers, sisters, and all my friends, very good morning to all of you. In today's topic for the discussion, I have chosen a question on essay asked in the UPSC Civil Service Mains Examination 2023. The question goes, visionary decision making happens at the intersection of intuition and logic. I repeat, visionary decision making happens at the intersection of intuition and logic. Dear students, this question is for 125 marks out of 250. That means there will be two questions asked. There will be two questions supposed to be written in the UPSC essay paper, Civil Service Mains Exam essay paper. There will be two parts. Each consists of 4 questions, and you are supposed to answer one question from each part. So 125 marks, computed to 250 marks. And this question is taken from the first portion of the Civil Service Mains Examination essay paper, which is the first paper which you are supposed to write. So, visionary decision making happens at the intersection of intuition and logic. How do we go about writing the essay which could secure the maximum mark out of 125 for this? So, I give you some fundas from some techniques that you must employ in writing almost all the examinations, the essays of all the examinations, or if you want to write any, article for that matter, for the newspaper or any journal, you can use these techniques. The first funda is to use the simple language in writing the essay. Right? Whether you are writing in Tamil or English or Hindi or any other language for that matter, your language should be legible to be understood. Others can understand your language. So there should be a simple language. Second, the thoughts that you are setting forth in the essay must be clear and easy to be understood by the reader, even for that matter for the examiner. So there should be a clarity of the thought, right? So before writing the paragraphs, you must think of the ideas, values, and the concepts that you are going to present in the essay, right? This is the second funda. There must be a clarity of thought in all your essays. Third, there must be a flow of thought. There must be a flow of thought. That means you must begin the journey of writing essay, begin the essay with a quote, introduction, body, and conclusion, and arranged in 4 or 5 pages. Then there should be a sequence of the paragraphs where you are specifying, you are actually flowing the ideas neatly and clearly. That means there should be a flow of thought clearly laid down there. Right? That will make the reader be more interested in reading your essay. Then the last funda is, you must not cook the ideas, but to derive the ideas presented by the scholars and other contemporary dailies and the magazines. Right? Newspapers and magazines and even the scholars and their works that you have read. First, you must develop the art of presentation, where you will have to have the ability to bring in the ideas presented by the scholars and the news dailies and the magazines. And then you can, in the conclusion, put your opinion. But don't start writing your opinion on the big elephant of your ego that always dominates you. Right? Dear friends, keeping these 4 ideas in mind, let us begin this journey of writing the essay to this question, that is, visionary decision making happens at the intersection of intuition and logic. Now, here you must understand the keywords of this topic. Visionary decision making, these are the 3 important keywords, and then intuition and logic. Total, there are 5 keywords: visionary, decision making, logic, and intuition. Now, what you do, start with a quote while writing the introduction. Introduction should be your first part. Then try to set a context where you bring in the present issues in making the decisions, and then go for the body of the essay, where you start explaining what these keywords stand for. That means, first you define decision making, then differentiate the 2 kinds of decision making: visionary decision and ambitious decision. Then you can go for what exactly the intuition stands for, and then what is actually all about logics. Right? What I'm trying to say is, first of all, define the keywords. Then, if there are contradictory words, if there are needs to differentiate the existing terminologies, then do that. Then go for contextualizing the topic. Like visionary decision making happens at the intersection of intuition and logic. That means the need for visionary decision making at the intersection of intuition and logic. Why is it important? Why is it important that one should make visionary decision, with the help of intuition and logic? So what is the significance of this? So delve into the examples, explain it, and then try to bring about the concrete reason why you do that, why you explain with those examples. Then go for the conclusion. Right? Concluding remarks may not be self-motivated, but they should be well narrated and explained and defined, and don't put your egoistic or any political oriented conclusion. Right? Don't go for any politically biased conclusion, but do write the conclusion which is neutral and depending on the natural justice principle. Now, let us begin this essay. I just want to take you a sample of it. The good decision is based on knowledge and not number. The good decision is based on knowledge and not on number, said by Plato, has a greater implications to the study of the present scenario in the realm of society, economy, polity, environment, and so on, as every decision of the leaders today affects the larger sections of the society. The concern is about who makes decisions, how it affects the entire society. The poverty, environmental degradation, gender-based sexual violence, political instability, economic exploitation are all the problems that are affecting the people at large, which are also seen as ubiquitous, which is universal and comprising, incorporating the, the people one and all. Decision must be prudent, conscientious, and also generalized and generic, so that it would alleviate the condition of the people from the current worst scenario to the best one. In this context, an attempt is being made to explain the visionary, how the visionary decision making with the use of the intuition and logic could resolve several issues which are haunting today in the world. So this should be my introduction. I'm simply spontaneously speaking, but when I think about it and then write it, I will polish it and then I will explain it neatly. Then go for the first topic, body of the essay there, the first topic. Decision. Decision is an act or process by which an individual or the leader of a nation or the society or the head of the government makes a resolution which brings about a greater good to the society. These decisions can be clubbed into three categories: value-based decisions, cognitive decisions, and practical decisions. The first stems from the inherent standard values such as integrity, honesty, transparency, and other ethical values adopted, and they are being integrated in the decision making. That is value based decision. Whereas the second is dependent on the conscious inner self of a person or a leader who is concerned about, the society in which he lives. And the last is dependent on the practical realities, how they are being produced and how one can resolve it. So this should be the first paragraph for the body of the essay, that is the decision. So I have made the definition of the decision, the types of the decisions. Second subtopic would be of the difference between visionary decision and ambitious decision. Decisions involve the leaders and the individuals to prepare a path to attain the self-motivated goal, as well as the goal which could uplift the millions of the people in the country and the world. So, when it affects only the individual for attainment of his goal, it would be ambitious decision, whereas when it affects the larger society for the greater goal, for the greater good, it would be called visionary decision. So the leader who is concerned about the society, community and the nation and the global society must be visionary and not the ambitious. So the difference I have made here. Then coming to intuition and logic, the topic. Intuition is the inner voice of the self, structured by the conscience, empathy, morality, perseverance, courage of conviction, creativity, innovation, and also imagination that guides a self to speak to the soul and act upon it. Whereas logic is the process by which the objectivity, consistency, and use of evidence and also the critical analysis comes to constitute, they are being used to analyze the empirical value of a particular proposition or the process, whether it is effective or not effective. So the person who is concerned about making decision must first be intuitive, and then second to be more logical. So intuition supported by a logic, that is scientific reason and rationalism, would definitely arrive at a prudent decision. Coming to visionary decision making with the use of intuition and logic at the intersection of intuition and logic. So I'm putting the illustrations. Now I'm going to take a few examples, exhaustive examples. In the year 1991, the visionary decision of then finance minister, when the country was about to collapse with the BOP crisis, had rescued the country from his visionary decision by going for liberalization, privatization and globalization, and brought about very manipulated, very well regulated economic reforms, which was resulting from his visionary decision. Similarly, in the year 1998, yet another prime minister of this country had rescued the country and also took up the country on highest pedestal by going for the testing of the nuclear weapons, though it acquired the opposition of so many countries, powerful countries, but he was resolute on his decision that it would actually deter the adversarial neighborhood. Then Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar, the drafting of the constitution, when he was drafting the constitution, very resolute and visionary in his decision to place the abolition of untouchability, prohibition of the discrimination based on religion, race, caste, sex, and place of birth, and also emphasizing on equality and freedom as fundamental rights are resulting from the visionary decision. Similarly, Gandhi, having decided to break the salt law, have encompassed the women and all the gender to to move on the path of non-violence, so that the Britishers were left with ethical dilemma whether to suppress or to leave the movement. Then he became very successful. So ahimsa and satyagraha were the two decisions that Gandhi adopted that fetched the fruits of independence to India. Similarly, when Akbar in the 16th century, the Emperor Akbar in the 16th century faced the challenge of the religious conflicts and disharmonious situation in the country. Then he had the guts to come out of the conservative mindset and made a resolute decision, prudent decision for rejecting both Islam and Hinduism, and tried to propagate the policy of peace, which is called Sulekul, to synthesize the rejection of din and dunya, that is religion and the temporal world, and the acceptance of the same in a similar way. So rejection and the acceptance, which are synthesized to bring about absolute peace in the world where there were the entrenched religious conflicts about to take place. Similarly, in the age-old India, that is in ancient India, we always remember Ashoka for planting the trees for the betterment, for the comfort of the travelers and the traders and merchants who were on their journey from one place to another. But having been troubled by the Brahmanical and Shramanical adverse conflict between each other ideologically and polemically, Ashoka had taken a resolute visionary decision that Dhamma, that is the policy of righteousness, which had stemmed out of his personal faith, that he was coming out of his personal faith, and then he spoke about the policy of Dhamma, which set a precedent for the path of resolving the internal conflicts in a vast country, in a vast empire that was of Mauryan Empire. In this manner, intuition and logic must guide a person or the leader to make a visionary decision, not keeping his immediate goal such as electoral politics at their agenda, but to bring about or to create a conducive atmosphere in the country where everyone get benefited in a longer term, not at his short intention. So, coming to the conclusion, in the concluding remarks, put a conclusion title, then an individual thinking to move out of the box for making prudent decisions, either to radically alter the society by eliminating social evils such as gender bias, caste-based discrimination, or communal conflicts, or to protect the environment, the rights of the tribes, and also the rights of the minority, would definitely lead the country to reach the destination of enlightened India. So, dear friends, here I have concluded with a single sentence, which is of the long sentence. So, you can polish it. I'm simply putting it. I have written it. I have written yet another paper. There you can simply copy. You can go through it. I have simply stretched an outline of how you can write very good essay. Simply, I have spoken about. The content would be the same, but you can polish the language and also the flow of the thoughts, whatever I said. So this is what is today's content or the topic for the discussion. Please write your essays and you can share it with me. I'll try to go through once and then I can talk to you. Thank you. See you then.